My name is Cheryl Grossman. I serve as the Assistant Majority Whip for our caucus, and I represent the 23rd District of Ohio, which is basically Grove City, portions of Dublin, western portion of Franklin County. And I want to thank everyone for joining us here today. I witnessed yesterday what I have referred to as a new day in Ohio. We have so much on our plate, so much to fix. And I stand here with members of my caucus as we take a huge step forward on behalf of the people of Ohio. And I would like to announce that I will be introducing a bill today to repeal the estate tax. And I think that it is long overdue. And I have some fellow caucus members, reps that will be joining me, but some of the things I'd like to share is that I think Ohio's estate tax takes a direct aim at the middle class, our homeowners, our family businesses, and our farmers. And we by far in Ohio have the lowest estate tax exemption in the United States. And it's $333,000, and this compares to an average of approximately $1.7 million for other states that have estate taxes. As of January 1, 2010, 30 states will have no estate or inheritance taxes. And Ohio's estate tax creates an incentive for people and businesses to leave Ohio and never come back. And I feel so badly on the people who have families and friends that would like to remain in Ohio. I've had hundreds of conversations with people that say, you know, as much as we need to share this, we're leaving Ohio. I talked to a very good friend that has a background in farming that said, I'm so glad because we were looking at buying a house in North Carolina just to be able to escape the estate tax here in Ohio. So you heard Governor Kasich talk today about, or yesterday, about being the conductor of the orchestra. And we are working together and will continue to work together to make Ohio a prosperous state for all of us again. I think this is a huge step in the right direction to do for the people of Ohio, for the generations that will follow. And I am delighted to have bipartisan support today on the sponsorship of the bill that I will be introducing. And with that, I'd like to also turn Representative Jay Hottinger, who's also been very passionate on this issue.
Thank you, Representative Grossman, and appreciate the opportunity to continue our work in the last General Assembly together on the estate tax. Many of you will recall our former colleague, Representative Larry Wolpert, who was very passionate about the issue of the estate tax. And after Representative Wolpert was term limited out, that mantle kind of fell into my hands, and had the opportunity last General Assembly to work with Cheryl Grossman. As you can tell from those have members that are sitting here in the audience, as well as those of us that are behind us, as well as many members that can't be here, this is an issue that is very important to this caucus. And I just want to take just a couple minutes and reiterate a little bit of some of the things that Representative Grossman said. But you know, Ben Franklin once quipped that only two things in life were certain: death and taxes. And while that wise statesman was certainly correct, I think even he didn't envision that the tax man would visit on the day of your death. And that's something that needs to end here in the state of Ohio. Today, we are beginning the process of ending a fundamentally unfair and egregious tax, a tax that is often the case of double taxation. This is about restoring fairness to Ohio's hardworking citizens, to our families, and small business owners, as well as our state's farmers. Ending this will have a tremendous impact on job creation in the state of Ohio. One recent national study talking about the elimination of the estate tax on the national level estimated that nationwide there could be the creation of 1.6 million jobs. Of course, we know on the federal level that an estate tax is now at its lowest tax rate in 80 years. It has a 35% tax rate, and it has a $5 million exemption. And so it has a lower rate and a higher exemption than what it's had in a very, very long time. As Representative Grossman indicated, the vast majority of states, 30 states, now no longer have an estate or an inheritance tax. Those that do have a much higher level of exemption. It's not unusual for the exemption to be $1 million or $2.5 million or $3.5 million. And as the representative indicated, after a tax credit, the in essence tax rate here in the state of Ohio starts at $338,333. And so Ohio should not, by our tax and public policy, be about forcing successful Ohioans and successful entrepreneurs who have been lifelong Buckeyes to force them to die in another state. The list is long, but there's Buckeyes like Dave Thomas, the late Senator Howard Metzenbaum, and many, many others. You know, warm weather and Gulf is not the only reasons that there is a significant exodus of Ohioans for states like Florida and other places. Our tax policy has a tremendous role as well. In conclusion, the elimination of the estate tax in Ohio is a matter of fairness. It's a matter of rewarding entrepreneurialism. It's a matter of recognizing the contribution of successful Ohioans and the desire to keep them here, to stop the exodus. It's a matter of preservation of small businesses and family farms. It's a matter of job creation. It's a matter of improving Ohio's economic competitiveness. And it's a matter of protecting not just Ohioans' most successful residents, but it's also about Ohio's middle class. Those people who have lived their entire life here in the state of Ohio. They've worked hard, they've saved, they've invested, many times they've created jobs, and they've had the good fortune of having the audacity to have amassed, in this case, $338,000 after a lifetime of hard work. And finally, in its simplest form, it's a matter of ending the most unfair and the most egregious tax in the state of Ohio. And so I'm pleased that so many of our colleagues are able to work with Representative Grossman and continue. Today starts the process of ending this significant uncompetitive tax on the state of Ohio. And I'm going to turn it now over to one other colleague who's going to come to the dais to speak, and that's Representative Peterson. And following Representative Peterson's comments, we will be available for some questions.
Good morning. I'm also excited to join Representative Grossman, Representative Hottinger, and my fellow colleagues as we work to eliminate something that I've been working on for many years in my former life as president of Ohio Farm Bureau and as a farmer. I am no longer the voice of Ohio Farm Bureau. That role has passed to Rick Portis and Jack Fisher, and today Beth Vanderpool. We're glad to have them join in this effort. You know, the challenge for farmers and small businessmen is that as we pass from one generation to the next, it's unfortunate that too many times the next generation has to purchase the farm a second time. My parents and most farmers live their life scrimping, getting by, you know, saving for the next generation, making the mortgage, paying their bills, and so often we live poor and die rich, and that becomes a taxable event, and it passes on to the next generation. The next generation lives poor and may die land rich, and that's a challenge for agriculture specifically, and for most small businesses. And traditionally, what we see is we are driving, as Representative Hottinger said, some of our best and brightest out of the state of Ohio. You mentioned two names. I can mention names in Fayette County and Wishing Courthouse who live in their hometown of Fayette County, Wishing Courthouse. They do that for 6 months out of the year. The rest of the time they're they're in Florida or in Arizona. And the challenge beyond just the financial when they leave, the challenge is they are involved in the community. They believe in community service. They believe in church, and they believe in community organizations. They serve the public. And we are taking oftentimes our best, our brightest, our most successful in the prime of their lives, towards the tail end of the prime of their lives. And out of our home communities where they want to be, where the family and friends are. And we're exporting them to other states and all the great things that they do. So I'm excited about this process. I look forward to killing the death tax. Thank you so much.
If we could have Dr. Lewis from the Farm Bureau.
Good morning. My name is Beth Vanderkoy. I am here today on behalf of Ohio Farm Bureau Federation's 214,000 Ohio families who are our members. Keep in mind that Ohio family farmers represent about 98% of Ohio's farms. The estate tax presents a very unique problem for farmers. Obviously, we know it as a great drain on the middle class and small business. But with respect to small farms, keep in mind that 84% of a farmer's assets are held in capital as opposed to income. And so this presents a great problem because it's the old saying, land rich, cash poor. And so when a farmer passes away, the only way that they're able to pay those taxes is often through the sale of land or other assets, which presents a significant problem. In rural areas, the elimination of farms is a great detriment to economic development, as often farmlands drive small businesses. So it's not just the farm and the farm jobs, but it's the grain and the implements and all of the things that they buy in their communities. In areas of budding urban development or suburbs, farmland is often lost forever to development because a lot of people are much more interested in purchasing 3 or 5 acres and building a house than in continuing a very hard but very noble career. So, Farm Bureau has long stood as an opponent of the estate tax. We fought very hard this summer to get in the federal level the current exemption and the extension of the current exemption. And for a long time we've worked on the state issue. We're very excited that Representatives Grossman and Hottinger and all of the caucus and bipartisan group are going to try to make this a go here in Ohio this year, and we're strongly behind